that brings us to the next point is with so many small decisions that we each make on everyday life, a popular phrase or theory or whatever you want to call it is we have guardian angels. And you kind of get that from Matthew 18, I think. Is there any reality behind that? Because there's so many decisions we need at least one angel guiding us the right way?
I think there is. I mean, in part, it depends how you define guardian. If you actually go look at Matthew 18, it's not like you have an angel with a sword there fighting somebody off, but it's this idea of intermediation, this advocacy. Don't abuse these little ones because their angels always see the face of my Father, always see the presence of my Father, depending on how you translate that. So it's this advocacy role based on, again, both the Old Testament role, we're in the Gospels here, we haven't had the cross yet for this to sort of transition to a role of Jesus and the Holy Spirit. But I also don't see where the notion of angelic help goes away. In fact, I think it's reaffirmed in Hebrews 1:14. And so I tend to marry the idea of angelic assistance, if we want to use the term angel just for the sake of convenience here, of their assistance with their personal interest in us as individuals. Again, I don't think it's sort of like for every angel, he has a lot of 10. You don't really see anything like that except for like leader, like archangels, like Michael being the guardian, if you will, the prince of Israel. Okay, something like that. But beyond that, you have this sort of connection between individuals and these supernatural beings who really do watch us at the command of God. So I tend to think that the idea, at least, of guardian angels is a biblical one. It's a correct one. Again, we're not given a whole lot of information in terms of specifics as to how it works. I mean, you could read Acts 12 in this way. There's another way you could read Acts 12 as well. When Peter's in jail, and of course the angel releases him. But when Peter goes to the door and knocks on the door of his friends where they're praying, and the little girl, Rhoda, comes out, she recognizes Peter's voice, runs back and says, "Hey, it's Peter." And they're like, "Oh, you're nuts," And one of them says it must be his angel. And that could be taken as the notion that he's dead and his departed self, his ghost, as it were, is showing up. But it also could be read as some sort of indication to them from the angel assigned to Peter that you better go answer the door. Something's going on here. So it just depends. There are flashes of it. But in antiquity, the notion that you had a personal, individual assistance was a biblical and an ancient idea.